She, 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 publishing. She, publishing. She, publishing. She, publishing. She, 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 publishing. She.
Welcome to the ShePub Network, where we talk books, authors, and publishers. I am Shanitha Finesse, CEO and founder of She Publishing LLC, and today is day 3 of the holiday season kickoff that we're doing for all of our authors on the roster. I want to let you guys know that we one of the things that we love to do is to promote and market our authors. So we create videos for them. And so those are some of the videos that you've seen of some of the authors that will be on today. So it is our intentions to create one of those videos for each and every one of our authors. Um, and then also, I'd like to share with you, if you are interested in finding the books of the authors that will be on tonight, I'm going to show you the website that you go to. So, just to let you know, we will have 4 amazing authors on tonight, brothers and sisters in authorship. We will have Cynthia, who is the author of Martell's World. We have Shelita, who is the author of From My Eyes. We have Samuel, who is the author of Wounds Can Heal, Even If Scars Remain. And then we also have Pastor Henry Razor, who is the author of several books. And tonight, one of the highlighted books that we will be talking about is Black History According to God's Word. So again, I do want to let you in on where you can purchase those books. Now, Dr. Samuel is the only author who does not have a book out as of right now. However, well, he actually do. It actually launched this month for his birthday. So it is being printed right now, hot off the press. His books will be delivered, will be shipping out at the end of this month. So we are so excited about that. But if you want to purchase anyone's book, let me show you exactly where you can go so you can get that beautiful packaging, you guys. You know, this is what it's about. This is the beautiful packaging. So you can definitely, one of the places you can go to is www.shepublishingllc.com. Again, that is www.shepublishingllc.com. And one of the first things you want to do is sign up for our B&B newsletter mag. This is where we will send you emails of the newsletter mags you can get free electronically. If you want to have the hard copy book, those are available too. But you can actually go ahead and see all of the books that we have, and you can either click on the book to get to their books. Look, From My Eyes. The pastor, he actually has a whole collection over here, you guys. And then we can go down to the children's section because Cynthia does have a children's book. You're no different, different than me. But the poetry books are here, and all of the adult books are at the top. Or you can also go to author pages. All of our authors don't have author pages, but again, this is another benefit that we offer our authors. And so, if you want to go to the pastor's page, he has his page with all of his books. He is actually our 2023 Janice Anderson Author Award recipient. He's won several awards. Here, this is some of the pictures from last year and this year, but you can go to his website, find out some of the events that he's having. So again, this is just more perks that we have for our authors. uh, Cynthia's author page. And just to let you know, if you have a question for the author, if you want to schedule a school visit, this is what you want to do. You want to contact the author, so you can contact them on their author pages as well. So I just wanted to make sure that I shared that with you guys before I bring them on. And so now, without further ado, I'd like to introduce the authors who we have on our roster tonight. I expect for you guys to give them a round of applause. Also, those in the audience, put your names in the chat. Ladies and gentlemen, put your name, where you're from, who visited you. I want you to participate in this round table. I want you to ask our authors, our family of authors, any questions you like. That's why we have them. All right. So again, without further ado, I'd like to introduce the brothers and sisters of authorship who are on our platform tonight. Let's give them a hand. Yeah. All right. How's everybody doing?
Wonderful.
Hello, I'm unmuted now. So hello, I'm doing fine. How's everybody?
Hello, everyone.
All right. So we're going to go around the room and I'm going to have the authors to introduce themselves. So I'll start first with SHELITA. Can you please tell us a little bit about yourself and the name of your book?
Okay, my name is SHELITA Woods. I'm here in Texas, actually, and I have two beautiful, wonderful kids, a son and a daughter. And I have been in the industry of senior care for almost 16 years now. So the title of my book is From My Eyes, because nobody can tell it like I can tell it, because God gave me the vision. So I just want to share with others who are getting into the business how to take care of the small things.
I don't know what happened.
You are muted.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
Wait, this actually happened yesterday too.
Yeah.
So Pastor, if you could, you go next, Pastor, and tell us a little bit about you and the books that you've published.
Okay, I am Pastor Henry Razor, here in Chicago. What part of Texas are you from?
SHELITA.
SHELITA, you're muted.
I'm back in Fort Worth, Texas area, DFW area.
Okay, I was just saying because I'm going to be in Texas in February, but I'm going to be in San Antonio.
Okay, I'm in the large city of Crowley.
Okay. I know where that's at because we had some offices down there.
Okay.
But I'm Pastor Henry Razor. I've written 6 books, 7th book coming up. My books, Biblically Black and Blessed, 1 and 2. And it basically, my books deal with the truth of God's word regarding Black people, because Black people have been omitted from so many of the discussions and been minimized and dismissed. So I did Biblically Black and Blessed, what the Bible says about God's relationship with Black people. Then I did the second one of those, which was the Children of the Ethiopians, which kind of gave a historical background of Black people coming out of Africa from creation. Right? And I thought I was through with that genre of books. Those books did really well. I did Winning Spiritual Wars, which was for me was what was like an awesome watershed event. That book was with She Publishing, and I remember when I did that book, and TD Jakes had just also did a book, and I was talking to SHELITA, and I said, "Oh man, I'm no TD Jakes," and she said, "Well, not yet, but what?" And we watched that book become #1 on Amazon bestseller, Winning Spiritual Wars. It was #1 for about 30 days. And then after that, I did 4 Principles of Dominion Authority. And then last year, I did a book that I'm actually getting a whole lot of interest and a whole lot of requests to do classes and seminars. Is Your Purpose is Your Superpower. I did that book last year with the workbook. First time I'd ever done a workbook, but it worked out really well, and it's still well. I'm still hearing more and more people asking me more and more questions and asking me to speak more on that. And then coming up here in a couple of weeks, I will be releasing a book specifically for Black history and the Black history season, but Black history should be year round. It's called Black History According to God's Word. And I think when you actually look at God's divinely inspired scripture, you'll see that what we've been doing for Black history for the last 200 years has not even scratched the surface of the impact that Black people have had in the world, and a lot of our inventions and creations. And I'm talking about things that happened. The whole idea of this book is that when last year in February, I was with SHELITA out in DC, and I actually had a guy from the Library of Congress come up to me and said, man, we saw that you was going to be here. When your book, Biblically Black and Blessed, came out, it created a stir around the office, and I wanted to see. So he came out, and a lot of people were coming up to my table and coming up to my booth and saying, yeah, they were asking me questions, and we were getting answers. And someone said, it was a lady, she was a dean at a college or something. She said, you need to do a class on this, because this is something that people will pay for, and this is something that people needed, right? So I did a class on it. I created a class on it, but with the class, I created a book, because you can only teach so many people so many things at a time. So with the class, I created this book, and this is the book that's going to be released, going to be published at the end of the month or the beginning of next month.
Yes. Yes, that is definitely awesome. I remember when your book hit #1 on Amazon, and I was like, so it was a very exciting moment, and you brought up a lot of things. And so before we move forward, I just want to address the DC. So we went to DC together. In DC, it's only a selected few who's able to go. So when I throw the email out there for different events, that is definitely one event you definitely want to be a part of, because we not only sell books at that event, but we give back. We definitely give back. And I don't know if you guys saw the pastor's website, but his home picture right there is in DC. He was in DC, and the boys in the building called him back. They wanted him to talk to them more about computers and just the things that he shared when he shared it with their classroom and with the different schools that we visited. So that was one thing that I definitely wanted to mention. And then the second thing is the Library of Congress. So this is something that I really didn't want to let out the bag until December 26th, but I must say that we've really made history with the pastor, and we are officially we officially have a partnership with the Library of Congress. And so that's She's Christmas gift, y'all. Like, that is huge. So
Right.
now his book is going to be the first book published with our first official Library of Congress number of recordings. So anyone who's publishing books in January on, even if you decide to relaunch your book as a second edition, January going forward, I am putting all of your books in the Library of Congress. Okay.
Yeah.
So that is definitely a milestone for us. And I am so excited about the other things that we have planned for you guys. I'm super excited. But so thank you. Thank you so much, Pastor, for shedding light on all of the books that you've written. I also want to give a shout out to the people who are here. We have a Maisha Turner who's here. She said, good evening, checking in from Alabama. We have Patricia here. Now we gonna
From
get you to
Arizona.
get that audience back, Patricia. Come on now, come on back in now. We also have your brother in authorship here. His name is Mark. We will be interviewing him tomorrow. He said, "Hey to the fam, and thank you for letting me know that I was muted." Yeah. So Patricia, she's back in the building, and
Hey,
then
Mark, how's it going?
all right. So we're gonna move on, and we are gonna move to Cynthia next. Can you please tell us a little bit about yourself and the name of your book and about your book?
Well, hello, everybody. I'm Cynthia Green, and my book is a children's book. It is in honor of my son that was born with a severe hearing loss. Will actually, you would say that he is deaf because of the severe of his loss, and it is to what the book is about. Is actually about a boy about 10 years old that has been midstreamed into a so-called regular school with all hearing children. He has spent his education with children of his peers with that had the same, I don't want to say disability, but same loss and with his hearing. So at this time, he's going to a school in his neighborhood, and he's the only child that has the loss. So he has an interpreter with him all the time, and the children have never seen anything like that. They only have seen adults or their grandparents with hearing aids and things like that. So this is the first book. It's gonna be a series. This is my first edition of a series, and the book is called "You're No Different Than Me." It lets the kids see that just because he has a loss, it's no different than me wearing my glasses and that helping me see. The hearing aids help him see. And so he has a problem with trying to make friends, and it just shows it brings up the conversation to families to talk about not taking things just because you're different, have some differences. There's more similarity than there are differences. So the book is going to be, like I had said, a series of several um, incidents or things that Martell goes through in his education, his school thing. My son now is grown. He's 37 years old. I wrote this book years ago. And now that I have a grandson, I wanted to actually finally publish it. And I'm getting a lot of attention through the deaf community about it because they've never seen a book that has a child with hearing aids and on. And I've been able to meet the commissioner of the mayor's office of the disability department, and she was very, very impressed of the book, and she had never seen anything like that when she was growing up. To So it's something that I'm really, really excited about. Um, and I can't. And my second book I've already started on. I should have that in the works for February, and we'll just see how it goes.
It's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. And when you talk about support, check this out, y'all. Check this out. Shirts, books, everything, bookmarks. What else you have there? I mean, just amazing. And so my mother, she's a sign language instructor, and Cynthia gave my mother an opportunity to actually be at the Deaf Nation, what they put together and everything. And I believe you guys will be going back there sometime in
Yes,
February.
yeah. They actually have it set up now for about six different states that they have the Deaf National Expo. So that's on my plans in 2024 is to make as many as I can. They really appreciated me there and welcomed me there, and I did very well on my sales.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. That's in also Cynthia went to the Indiana. You went to the one in Indianapolis
Yeah, the Black
too.
Expo in Indianapolis. That was very nice too.
Yeah. So, and another thing that Cynthia, just to let you guys know that she is actually nominated for 2024 to be the face of a new expansion part of She. So I just want to say congratulations in advance. I just love everything that all of you guys are doing. So, and I'm so glad that we're family.
Yeah, I get, and at the expo, I had a lot of like organizations coming up to me and saying the book would be good for their organizations. So I'm in the works of sending out things to several organizations. I just more and more and keep coming in to purchase the book in bulk, and I I've just been blessed on things that's been coming my way and people that I've been meeting, doctors and and things like that. So we'll just keep praying on it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's awesome. All right. And then we will have Dr. Samuel Brown, who will tell us a little bit about himself and the name of his book.
Yeah, I'm extremely excited. Thank you all for this opportunity. The name of my book is Wounds Can Heal Even If Scars Remain. And this book was birthed, as I mentioned in our authors convention, it was birthed through my past pain. And so it took me several years to actually finish the work. And that's because the story was continued. It was still in the process of being written. And that's because of the experiences that I've had. Those experiences needed to be captured. And so through research and some biblical uh, principles and some fundamental sound sound recommendations, I was able to capture that and put that in the book. There's a couple of the books that I had been in the works of writing. One was called Where You're Planted, Fulfill Your Purpose in Every Season. And so I guess we'll have a chance to talk about that a little bit later on. But purpose is the reason for which something is done or created, or the aim or the intention of something. So as we know, those that are Bible readers, we understand that the Bible teaches us that purpose is not something that we have to manufacture, something that we need to achieve, but it's something that God has already planned within us. And so because of those instructions that are already there, we have to do what we were designed and instructed to do. And so this is the fundamental basis of this particular book. Another book that I am in works of writing is called Reclaiming Your Identity. I've in my ministerial background, I taught a lot, preached a lot of messages around understanding your identity, understanding who you are, because if you understand who you are, you become that much more of a threat. And you can fulfill your purpose. And then my father, he passed away on the 1st of December. And so 7 days, exactly 7 days before my birthday. And so once I started to understand that particular milestone in my own life, it was something that was unctioning me to just write a memorial and biography that regarding his life and his legacy. And so I don't know why these things come to me at night. I don't know if every author is the same, but I get dreams about the book cover. I get dreams about the title of the book. And so, the title of this book is going to be This Is What Courage Is, the life and the legacy of my father. And so more details to come.
Wow. Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you for even being here tonight, after such a recent loss. Um, And you guys, he did have a dream about the covers, y'all. We was in process of working on the covers. The next thing you know, he's like calling, like, look, I had a dream. X that. This is what it needs to be. And our graphic designers, we have a couple of graphic designers. And so one of the graphic designers that we went with, she will be talking about on next Tuesday about how is she coming up with these creative things? How is she able to bring your covers to life? And that's for any graphic designer because it is a lot of work. Um, it's a lot of work, but yeah, he definitely doesn't. And I do remember when we found out the passing of your dad, you're like, I'm like, take the time that you need. And you were like, my dad wanted me to write this book, and you kept going. And your courage and your strength, I admire. And when you talk about purpose and you talk about the design of instruction, that kind of segues into the next question I have for each and every one of you. It's your purpose of writing your book. What made you decide to write these books? What made you decide now to write your book? And did your experiences and your beliefs play into that? Now, I want you to think about that for a second. I do want a few people in the audience, they are just saying hi and good evening. Hey, Yvette, how you doing? That's Dr. Yvette Miller. She is one of the sister companies, Allure Publishing. She's a sister company to She. We do have Maisha. She said, that's beautiful, Cynthia, when you were speaking of your book. So people are making comments and they are literally just now coming in. I just want to say thank you guys for showing up and being supportive, because we need you guys to continue to support. um and then so we're gonna start with Shelita. Let us know, why did you decide now to tell about your story? Like, what is so important? What is that message? That was probably a lot,
I
so if it was.
it was a lot personally and professionally, stepping out by faith to try and provide a safer place for our elderly community. After seeing different areas that were licensed or unlicensed, so many people are opening small facilities because the larger ones, I'm told, that they don't provide the care. It's simply to give back to that picture you see behind me. My great grandmother lived to be 108 years old, and my first experience of seeing someone in a nursing home, it broke my heart. And I think it was birthing me then that I had to make a difference. So down through the years of running my own facility, there were just little things that God would show me, that He would bring to my attention, or that I would see on my own, or hear from families who are coming from the larger facilities or other facilities to ours. And I just try to teach my staff, and then I try and educate other families on things to look for, the little things, pulling down someone's shirt when it's up, or making sure there's no food spilled on the clothing, or making sure the teeth are brushed, the mouthwash. So it encouraged me to try and share that with younger people who are coming up behind me that want to go into this business, that is not just about the money, it's not just about the state, it's about all of it, and giving quality care. And that has been huge for me. And stuff as simple as, if you're going to puree food, don't just put it all in one bowl, still make it attractive. Just making their homes clean, not to have a smell that knocks you off your feet when you enter the doors. Little things that'll keep that down. So it's personal and professional for me, and I just wanted to share to others.
So I know one thing in your book. I was very excited to not only publish your book, but to read it, because you not only opened up one facility, you opened up a number of facilities. And
Mhm.
it's like, can you tell us a little bit about that experience opening these facilities? Because you're giving us in your book advice on owning commercial property, and that anybody, any ordinary person can do some extraordinary things. All you got to do is just do it. All you got to do is just try it, is what I say. So, how many facilities did you open? And because you give us your blueprint of how you did that, correct, in the book?
Mm-hmm. I
So,
opened this is the third, and then I stepped out on number 4, phase 4, as a independent living. So I'm trying to appease or be there for, and the current one is in a country setting, and it's just kind of listening to people, learning what their desires are, because every family is not educated on what to look for. So I just try to put it out there, and just stepping out on faith. It was definitely a faith move. First was one 6 bed, then I went to 11, and now I'm at 16. I think I'm going to stop there because I'm very hands-on with what I do, and then just want to help educate other people.
all right. Pastor, you were saying something. You had a okay. But yeah, so one of the things I would say is I would definitely pick up this book if you're interested in not even just nursing home, but just commercial property. Just it's a wealth of information in that book. It is contracts in that book. And if you're thinking about opening a facility or starting a business, and we all have books in business. And so this is the business. You know, sometimes with a book, you may not become a millionaire with the book, even though, hey, that's what we want to do. That's the goal. But how do we get it out there? You know, how do we tell the people about it? So this is definitely a book that you want to grab and pick up. And so, Pastor, your why.
Okay, I thought I was muted. I didn't mean to interrupt. My wife is sitting here with me, and she was listening to this, and she got excited and said, "You got to get her name and get her book." And then, and so that's what I was I was repeating her name to my wife here. That's what I was doing. But the why. My book, I started the very first book I wrote. I self-published it, and it really turned out to be a self-publishing nightmare in regards to it. Was called Biblically Black and Blessed. God, what the Bible says about God's relationship with Black people, and that book came about for, I don't know, for the last 10 years. In February, all I was doing was teaching biblical Black history. And what I saw was people was coming to the church just to hear that. They were bringing notepads and pencils, and they were writing things down, and they were saying, and my wife was constantly telling me, "You need to write a book. Put this in a book, because every year we're writing stuff down, and we get new stuff, and write it down." And so what happened was, I finally decided what they asked. I had it already, because when I delivered the messages during Black History Month, I did it in PowerPoint. So I'd already had this tremendously large PowerPoint file that I was putting together. And so the church got together and said, "Look, we're going to send you and your wife on a 7-day cruise." And this is what they did. They sent us on a 7-day cruise. Take your laptop and write the book while you're out there over the ocean, blah, blah, blah. And then when you come back, and I did that, right? And it turned out to be a nightmare, because I self-published it, not really knowing anything about anything. And I just opened up an Amazon account, put it out there, and I was getting so many requests that I couldn't keep up with it. So I just threw my hands up and said, forget it. Closed the Amazon account. Amazon sent people their money back. And I was in Hawaii on vacation, and a talk show host called me up and said, "Man, where's your book? People are asking about it. We're talking about it right now." And so I said, "Okay, I'm through with this, right? I'm not going to do this anymore, because I can't keep up with it. I'm doing too many things. I'm pastoring a church. I'm managing a team, right?" And the Lord really led me to She Publishing, right? So the next book, I was doing the same thing. I was putting the book together, and the church came to me and said, "Well, you need to write this book," because I was doing Winning Spiritual Wars. You need to write this book. And I'm like, I'm not going to write another book because the first one turned out to be a disaster because I couldn't keep up. Amazon sending people their money back. I'm getting emails saying, why didn't you ship this? And why? And I said, I won't do it without a publisher. And publishing is going to cost money. And literally at the end of that service, before I dismissed, one of the deacons got up and said, okay, we need this in a book. And he walked up and he put $100 down on the floor at the book and said, look, if it's going to cost money, let's pay for him to have the book published and do it. And people just started walking up and putting money down there. And so, and the Lord had already directed me toward SHELITA. So I went to She Publishing. And we did Winning Spiritual Wars, and it really addressed a lot of issues that people were concerned about. They were asking questions about body, soul, and spirit, asking questions about things like that. And that book went huge. I mean, it went huge. But SHELITA, they took care of all the other parts of it. All I had to do was write it, right? and from there, I went back to Black history with Biblically Black and Blessed too. And all of my books, I get the inspiration from God, right? And because that's what I do as a pastor. That's what I do as a minister. I follow the leading of the Lord. And that's why I ended up with those books. And that's how I ended up, I never thought I would be doing books on biblical Black history until I realized how ingrained and how important Black people are in the Bible, and how important, and we're never talked about. We're never discussed as people in the Bible. We talk about Jews and Gentiles. We leave out the whole Black people are left out altogether. And so just by inspiration, and I'll be getting up in the middle of the night, and the Lord will just start putting stuff on my mind and I'll come down and start writing. And that's how I ended up with this book that's coming out, Black History According to God's Word. I got to a point, literally, when I was writing this book, I got to a point to where things were not coming together. And I started praying, and I started praying over days and days. And I woke up one morning and I could hear in my spirit the Sumerians. I had no idea who the Sumerians was. I remember studying the Sumerians in world history. The Sumerians. And so what I ended up doing from there is I went and I did research. I went to University of Chicago, archaeologist, professor that went research. And what I found, what I uncovered was the real basis of Black history and how it created civilization in the world. And then I was mad at myself because I've been reading it in the Bible all the time. All the time I've been reading it, right? And so I get my inspiration from God. And like Pastor Reverend Brown, I think it is, said, you have to acknowledge who you are and where you're from. And that what he said about purpose is what I wrote a book and actually did a workbook on that same thing, on purpose. You come here, God created us and he gives us the purpose, right? And he brings us into the world in the optimum time, the optimum place, and position us perfectly to get to the point where we fulfill that purpose. And so,
Pastor,
inspiration.
Yeah. So is now the time for me to take up the collection plate?
No. See, I didn't want to get started. That's what I didn't want to get started.
Okay, and y'all know what, that's a running joke because the first I believe it's the first conference that we had, that was just hilarious because the pastor, I did not know he was gonna say this. He went up there next thing like, and now we're taking up the collection plate. Everybody just died laughing. But yeah, so one of the things is it's been a true blessing because we have a pastor on deck. We got like 2 on deck now, y'all. So we are getting prayed for. It's like I can't, there's no she without any one of the authors who are on our platform, but to have a praying author, have the praying authors, this is what I need. You know what I'm saying? So, um, thank you. Now we're moving to Cynthia. What, um, and I think you've already kind of told us the inspiration about your book and why you're writing your book. And so I'm sure it has to do with your experiences and your beliefs, but why right now?
Well, just like the gentleman said about me, him dreaming. I remember it had to be, my son probably was around 10 years old. And out of the blue, I just started writing this book. And it was not his experience. It actually was my fear and my experience of him going to this school and not being able to make friends and him feeling different. Raising him, I never, and the family, we've never treated him any different than, his hearing loss. We've always spoke to him like he reads lips, and we have no different things that we do for him. So he never was raised as he was different. So he always went out, made friends, did things. My next book is him wanting to join the basketball team. And this is something that my son did. He was the only deaf child on the basketball team. The other children adapt. They knew to tap him, to talk to him directly, face to face. And these was my fears. And that's actually what the book is about. Um, is I put it in his eyes of his fear, but honestly, it was a mother's fear of their child being treated differently. And he actually went in, and other kids, the teachers wanted to learn sign language and everything, and it just brought enormity to the school. It was something exciting, to the school. And I put it aside for years and never really did anything, about it. I was thinking also about the self-publishing, and then I would dibble dabble and try to see exactly what I could put together and figure out. And I never really did anything, with it. But like I said, when my grandson, was born, I'm like, this is something I really want to do for my son, but actually for my grandson too, to have something that I can read, to him. So he looks at the book, not that it's his grandmother's book. He looks at it as his Uncle Martell's book, because that's who he sees it, because when we read it, it's Martell. We use it, that's actually my son's name that we call him. And so it's something that I want parents to see, that there is no difference, someone coming across a child, or anyone that's deaf. When I tell people, I have a son and my son is deaf, the first thing they say is, "Oh, I'm sorry." There's really nothing to be sorry about. The deaf community is proud, and it is amazing language that they do. Something that I have to practice and master myself, because we always just talk to my son. I really never use sign language, but now that I've written the book and I go to these events, it's something that I am practicing on more, to notice. They don't like to be called hearing impaired, because it is not an impairment to them. It is something that it's their way of life, and so it's very interesting. I've been learning a lot. I've been meeting a lot of people. I've been getting emails to participate in events and expos that I've never heard of. So I have a long list of things for 2024, to do, and I'm really excited about it. And it makes my son proud too. I'm actually including some of his childhood friends in the book, their names. And so they're excited. One of the schools that he first went to when he was 3, because the state takes the kids when they're 3. And so I've included that name, in the book. And a lot of people, are excited about it, and so am I. So I'm really just looking forward to the new year and what's to come.
Wow. So I absolutely love the book. And when I first heard about we were gonna have our first book about American Sign Language and just that, I was very excited because my mother has been teaching that just about my entire childhood life. So but I never learned it. And so for 2024, I said to myself, I am going to try to take one of her classes
Mhm.
and learn the language now. I mean, it's no different than a Spanish speaking student coming
Hey,
to an American or English speaking school. So it's no different. So that's why I love that book. I actually, my daughter actually loves that book too.
yeah,
So
and it's
she,
a it's an
mhm,
amazing thing to be. um we used it when we were in doctors, in places that we had to be quiet. That's when
yes.
I would use it more with my son, me and my daughter. And um and now that he's grown, and he the majority of his friends are completely deaf, and I would have liked to know more, to communicate more with them,
Mhm.
but as I say, most people, and I would say 95 to 99% of deaf people are very good with lip reading, and in the
Wow.
book, people think that when you say, oh, he's deaf, or he's hard of hearing, they speak louder, and thinking that they could hear because you say they're deaf. They can't. It's no difference. So that's why the book is called "You're No Different Than Me." In the book, there's a phrase that the mother always tells the child, and tells him, um, just like my glasses helps me see, your hearing aids help you hear, which makes you no different than me. So
Mm.
this makes him feel that he starts thinking, he's like, yeah, mom, you're right. So just go in there like that and present yourself. You've never had any problems with anyone else making friends. Just go in there and make friends. So it's a good funny story at the end on how he makes friends to get the attention off of his hearing aids. you know
Yes.
so it comes, and it makes the children and the adults smile once you get to the end, to see what he does in the classroom to bring attention off of his hearing aids. Because it actually, did happen. He had an interpreter with him all the time. And being a 10-year-old, 8-year-old with an adult with you all the time, signing for everything, most of the kids were staring at the interpreter, instead of the teacher, so they had to, adjust to a lot of new things. And it just happened to be, um, one of the classmates had a deaf person in their family. So they connected really well. They kind of connected together. So it went to a point that at certain areas that they would go in the play, if recess or whatever they would do, he didn't need his interpreter, because he had his pen pal, he had this person there that would helping him, and that was his age, and they're still friends to this day. So yeah, shoot. Can you hear it? Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Okay, grab the books is what I'm saying because you're no different than me. Like that touches on a lot of different things. Okay. It touches on when people may have learning disabilities. You know, I have a daughter who's had a learning disability, and it's like, look, it's okay, y'all. It is okay. We're
And
gonna get through this.
let me say just one more thing. When I was at the Indianapolis Black Expo, I had a lot of different people coming up with their child having other issues, had nothing with hearing, that they were excited about the book and they bought the book and they were wanting to um, let their child know that they're no different just because they have something. There's more similarity than there is difference, and they were excited to get the book and meeting. And I even ran into one of my son's high school friends. That when he saw my son in the book, he was like, I went to school he went to Illinois. My son, when he went to high school, he went to Illinois School for the Deaf. And this young man went to Indiana School for the Deaf. And they were basketball, uh, people that they had basketball teams and competitions and stuff. And he recognized them. Yeah, so it's very interesting, the people that I run into.
Wow. So now, just before we get to Samuel, I just want you guys to know that I put something in the chat and I asked the people whose favorite movie is Santa Claus 1 and 2. Okay. And I think somebody said Mr. Brown, Dr. Brown. So, Dr. Brown, is Santa Claus 1 and 2 your favorite book?
Is it my favorite book or my favorite
Oh,
movie?
favorite movie,
The
favorite
movie.
holiday movie.
No,
No, it's not it. So sorry about that, Royce. So let us hear why now for you. And I think you've probably even answered that question already. But expound upon, you were talking about another book and you said that you would tell us a little bit more about it. Tell us
uh,
about that.
okay. So, um, well, there's a lot of great conversation going on, and I was just really enjoying it. But I would have to quote Dr. Miles Monroe here, uh, where what is the why to me sharing my story? He said that the world is ruled by dead men. Most of the ideas that govern our societies, cultures, laws, religions, philosophies were written by those whose lives have passed from this earth. Another thing that he mentioned is that writing gives you the power and the ability to leave your thoughts behind and leave your thoughts beyond your grave because ideas outlive men. And what I don't want to do is to become a thief to future generations by robbing them of the seed and the information that has been given to me. In my book, wounds can heal even if scars remain. Scars are a natural part of the healing process. And through the research, I found that most will fade and blend, with the skin over time. And although they never completely disappear, every scar it tells a story, whether it's physical or emotional. And Dr. John Newman, he's a cosmetic surgeon and researcher. He said that scarring is a result of a system that has learned to respond extremely quickly to a wound. So depending on the type of wound and conditions during the healing process, it will determine the type of scar. So in my book, it's written with the intention of helping those find peace who have at some point experienced emotional pain. Now, emotional wounds, you can't see those because we learn how to bury those. And we learn how to just deal with situations. But this book is written so that readers will learn how to forgive and learn how to forgive those who may have hurt them so that they can heal from their past wounds and move forward, with their lives. even if the scars and the memories remain. And it's essentially about being able to let go of your past and embrace your future. Many of us at some point in time, we've experienced some level of hurt or some level of emotional pain, and so this is what this book is all about.
Wow. All right. Well, I mean, we've definitely shared a lot, and I just can't believe it's an hour already. So I guess one of the things that we'll do is we'll just go around and find out how can people follow you and purchase your books. Before we get to that, one of the special things that I'm doing this year is writing a book called From Projects to Publisher, and it is a dedication to each and every author who has been on our roster from 2020 to 2023, because you guys have built the foundation of this company and of this family. And one of the reasons why we're doing these holiday views is because I'm like, man, I'm actually not mobile right now. Cannot walk right now. Have a whole situation going on, and I'm just grateful to have each and every author who has believed in She and who's come on our platform. And so, again, I want to invite you all to, even though we're doing these interviews for the entire week, I really want to invite you to the interviews that we're doing on Tuesday, December 26th, because I am going to be announcing some really big things that we want to do for our authors. Um, I have been collecting the goals of our authors. Why? Because we are approaching the new year. We are posting these goals on our social media. I will also begin to post them on our website. Why? Because we are inspiring each other. Like, knowing what your aspirations are could really help someone else define and identify their purpose. And we have a lot of different genres here tonight. But I tell you, I would want to grab all the books because they touch different aspects of our lives. When we think about From My Eyes, one of the inspirations of building this platform is because my grandmother was in a nursing home. And I wish I knew Shalita at that time. Now I have all these resources. Now we all have these resources at our fingertip because guess what? They're part of the She family. Um, my grandmother told me, don't say anything to this staff, don't be mean to anybody because I have to live here. And that hurt me because I couldn't take her into my home. But just knowing what questions to ask, knowing we have a resource right here. You know, if I need somebody, pray for somebody, I know I can call Pastor or I can call Samuel. Like, we have these power hours, y'all. Like, the people who are on this platform today and this entire week, I have a relationship with each and every one of them. Each and every one of them will have a page in this book that I am publishing next year. So, and then we actually even have some quotes from some of the authors on the platform. So I am super excited about this book that's going to be coming out because I have grown up in the Robert Taylor Project homes. But not only that, it's your projects, which have made me become a publisher. So again, each and every one of your books have taught me something. I learn and grow from each and every one of you. So how can we follow you? How can we get your books? I will start with Shalita.
Of course, you can follow me with She Publishing. Being I guess a baby in this, this is my first book, so it's all new to me, and I'm still learning on how to get it out there. But you can also find me on Facebook, anchorwayseniorcare.net, on the website. You can also go to Amazon. So just get in touch with She Publishing mainly, and you can find me that way. Hope you do. It's a good read. Thank you.
Yep, Pastor. And you're muted.
Okay, so I'm not muted anymore, right? You can get my books anywhere books are sold. She Publishing. You can get them from the website She Publishing LLC. You can get them at Amazon, Goodreads, wherever books are sold. You can get my books. You can follow me on Facebook. I'm at Pastor Razor, or I actually have a page, Henry Razor Author, and that's where I'm putting everything. Doing everything as Henry Razor Author on Facebook, on TikTok, on YouTube, everywhere. All of my social media sites will be Henry Razor Author, and I'm going to kind of compile, bring everything under that one so that people can only remember one thing to get me. But you can follow me in all those places.
All right.
Hi, I guess it's my turn. Okay. You can reach me, follow me on all the social media under Martell's World. And my book is available just about every where books are sold. Also at She Publishing. And the book, my series, I want to say, is Martell's World. But the book, my first book is You're No Different Than Me. Each book will have a different title, just like Dr. Seuss. I'll just use that as an example. But that is my I say platform will be is Martell's World, and I can be contacted on there, so you can reach out if you want someone to come and do a book reading for the children. Just contact me and let me know.
All right. And we have.
Yeah, so you can of course go and purchase my book at She Publishing, of course. And pretty soon, once they are printed, they'll be released on everywhere where books are sold as well. You can also follow me on Facebook, social media, and I like Pastor Razor, and I'm in the process of refining and redeveloping social media so that it will represent and also be able to be used as a tool so that people will know where to follow and be able to pick up more books.
All right. And so yeah, we're gonna go. This was a really great experience, a really great show. I think we've inspired some people. Eddie Phillips, he said, I purchased a lot of books. I am encouraged to see so many authors. So yeah, I'm super excited about what we are really creating here. I did want to say, so the pastor and Dr. Brown, they were actually on a men's mental health seminar. We had our conference in October, and I think everybody in the room were just, it was almost like what everybody needed. It was amazing. I know I shed a tear. Can you guys say a little something about that evening?
I thought it was awesome because for one thing, I think in Black society, we kind of make it really hard for men to actually share their feelings and to actually open up. And I think at that night was a great opportunity for men to be human and not try to be Superman and try to hide and hold our pain in and show one thing while we feel another. I think it was a great time. It was just an awesome thing. It's something that I hope continues as the event, as part of what you do each year.
All right.
I would certainly have to agree. I think in our society, it's often frowned upon for us to show any type of humanity, And that side that we were able to just kind of rip the Band-Aid off and just kind of expose those raw emotions and feelings, and kind of take each other through the various journeys that we've experienced, even if it was just on the surface level. I think it was powerful, and that's why it was so touching, because it's almost taboo in the African American society for us to be able to have those types of meaningful conversations and real discussions without having to be looked upon or frowned upon in certain ways. And we often find that raw emotion is more felt in the church, in certain churches, as opposed to the general society. And so this again, it resembles the demographic that we see of men that are connected in church or connected in some type of social gathering, and it also gives us insight into certain other aspects of why our society has failed. They often find other means and other places and other ways to be able to expose their true self. And so I would really love to see those discussions and conversations continue, because I think they're very much needed.
Yeah, and that was day 3 that we did that. It was absolutely amazing. So we're definitely going to keep that a part of the conferences. And then Mark actually said that men are afraid to be vulnerable. We are always taught to be strong all the time, but it always helps to ask for prayer and help when needed. So I will tell you, the men were definitely vulnerable that day. They shared a lot with us. I believe, Pastor, I believe it was actually you who said something about if you could say something to your younger self, you would say you don't have to be grown right now, or something like that. And um, I remember Samuel won the book because he mentioned something about unmasking and revealing those feelings and everything. So it was very powerful for me. I learned a lot. There was other women and men in the audience asking questions. And so I thank you guys for being vulnerable. And Mr. Mays, he's another one of your brothers in authorship as well. He said, this was great. I'm looking forward to the next one and hopefully being a participant. Yes, you are, because he has a book coming soon as well. And you're actually in the Chicagoland area. So if we have another one in this area, we want you to come out, Mr. Mays. All right. So with that, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, audience. We could not do this without the author supporters. And let me see. Tiffany said men need to be vulnerable about childhood trauma. Whoa. So that's a whole nother show, y'all, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So with that, again, I'm going to say thank you. And I'll meet you here tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because we have authors all around the world, you guys. So with that, one more comment, y'all. Eddie says, historically, our men have been conditioned to exhort our pain in negative ways. We need it. So we definitely need that talk. And maybe we'll even have a whole men's mental talk on here too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I will see you guys back here tomorrow if you can make it. And with that, enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Nice meeting you all.
Same here.
Thanks for everything.
Yeah.
Thank you.
She publishing. She publishing.